This is Irene Woods. We've now reached method 5 and 6 in our video series for Fairisle on basic mid-gauge knitting machine. Methods are so similar that I combined them into just one video this time. This part of the band is done with method 5. This part of the band is done with method 6. And as you can see, they look virtually the same. The pattern is the top tier of the chart for the mid-gauge Fairisle cardigan that we are using as a KAL, a knit along, in our Facebook group. I will put a link down below, a link to the group, and you do have to join us, but we have a lot of information that you should find helpful. There are several free patterns, tutorial material, and this is a very friendly, supportive group, so hope to see you there. We're now going to begin working on method 5, and I'm using the chart for the top tier of the mid-gauge Fairisle cardigan that is in our Facebook group. So if you want to follow along, the charts are in that pattern, and I will put a link to the group in the information below. You do need to join the group, but there are lots of free patterns and lots of tips and hints to help you knit a round yoke sweater. This method is a little different than the way we've been working on it. In this method, you set the levers on the carriage so that all 4 of them are in the forward position, and they stay that way throughout. We don't change the lever setting. Also, we put the main color, which in this case is red, in the carriage, and it stays there. We do not take it out and change colors. Instead, the white is worked manually. What I've done is bring forward into holding position, basically, or all the way to the front rail, all of the stitches that will be contrast color, all of the red stitches. What I'm going to do first is knit the main color stitches manually. Try to keep the tension so that it nearly matches, as closely as you can, the tension that you get from the carriage. And then hold the white out of the way and knit 1 row with the red. Check to make sure there aren't any drop stitches. And I am going to put this end tail over that end stitch and anchor it down so that it's not just dangling. Okay, according to the chart, we repeat this row again. So we need to bring forward the red, and now we're going to manually knit the white stitches, the same ones that we did before. Here's another little trick. If you don't do something to catch this thread when it's at the end, it leaves a really funny little jag. So I just simply have looped it over that end needle. Now I'm going to manually knit every white stitch. This feels a little awkward, and you do kind of have to practice it, but you'll get the hang of it quickly. You might do better using your dominant hand, which I was not. and don't let the yarn split. Now I'm going to do basically the same thing on this side because I've ended up 3 stitches from the edge and I don't want a loop there, so I'm just simply going to catch that yarn over the end needle, and it will knit in with the red when the red comes across. Make sure your needles are in line. We're now ready for row 3. When we get to row 3 on the chart, at center 0, these 3 stitches will be white. And then there will only be 1 red stitch. And that pattern repeats itself. 3 white, 1 red all the way across. So this time we'll use the other side of the needle pusher. Knit 1 row. Oops, I should have done the white yarn first. You do need to keep a little slack pulled down using this method. And it's amazing how fast you can use up a couple of feet of yarn. It just eats it. Now knit 1 row main color. We've now reached method 6, and this is the one that I consider the easiest. At least it's the easiest for me out of all of these methods. The methods are so similar that I decided to combine them into just one video. And you should be able to very quickly understand what I've been doing because they are so much alike. I need to have all the levers on the carriage set to the backwards position. This is opposite from the way we did it in method 5. This time the needles that come forward are the contrast color. That will be the white ones. Looking at the chart, I see that needle number 1, right of center 0, has a contrast color stitch on it, and so do all the alternate ones. So we're going to use the needle pusher, bring these stitches forward. Take the carriage across to knit just 1 row, and then manually knit all of the extended needles. Again, this is just opposite of the way we did method 5. It's easier for me to manually knit the yarn when the needles are extended. You may find it works better if they're in the back position, so I'll let you make your own decision as to what works best for you. Okay, this row repeats itself, so we're going to bring out the same needles that we had last time for contrast. These will be the white needles. Knit 1 row with main color. and then manually knit the extended ones. I should mention that I'm just continuing on with the chart we used in Method 5. This is the top tier from the mid-gauge Fairisle cardigan that is in our Facebook group. And again, there will be a link to that group if you want to join us. You've seen me select the needles and then hand knit them several times. So I just went ahead and completed that top tier off camera. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is where I began. This is the bottom. And this was done with Method 5. And then from here on out, it's Method 6. And they look nearly identical. So really it's up to you, which method do you prefer?